Okay, it's Sunday, which means against my better judgment, it's time to go to Reddit and see what we can find in this hive of scum and villainy. So I went to the Overwatch University Reddit subreddit ahead of time and just scraped all the questions off the first couple of pages, and we're gonna answer the questions. Why is Dragon Ball FighterZ playing in the background if we're talking about Overwatch? What are you, a cop? Right? You know, you gotta tell me if you're a cop. If you're wondering which side I'm on, just look for whichever side started with Android 21. So, the first question is, as D.Va, how do I use Defense Matrix effectively against Widow/Hanzo? And, I mean, if we're talking about fighting them straight up, there isn't really anything to Defense Matrix on Widow, other than, like, any shots as you're first going in on her. Just to block damage right at the start. For Hanzo, you've got Eat the Storm Arrow, and that's about it, really. Well, the Storm Arrows, and that's about it for, like, actually fighting them. If I've got, like, a Widow on my team, or a Hanzo on my team, and it looks like they're gonna try and, fight him right at the start of the match, then I'll hold the Defense Matrix over them, like, right as the gate opens to see if that helps them get the kill. But other than that, like, you know, you can't really use it just, like, to block for people. You can't use Defense Matrix just to block shots for them for other people, because you've got more important things to use Defense Matrix on than that most of the time. So that's kind of it, really. So next up is, how do you counter Bastion/Junkrat bunker comps, and while specifically as D.Va? And as D.Va specifically, there isn't a whole lot you can do against that kind of comp, because, I mean, it's very hard to get into the bunker, pretty much. The best thing you would be able to do as D.Va a lot of time versus that comp is, like, try and find people that are just kind of off by themselves, or go and, like, touch the point to try and draw aggro away from the front line. The post did specifically talk about it being very difficult to get through choke points versus that comp, and yeah, and I specifically think of, Paris in regards to that, because, yeah, it feels like every time you go through that, choke point right at the start of the game, you see a bunker comp right there, don't you? And, real talk, the easiest way to circumnavigate that is have a Symmetra, especially on Paris. Like, here's some real, like, consistent shit for you, because they're not, the enemy team are not going to react appropriately most of the time. Get a Symmetra when you're attacking Paris, go out the right side, stand in the room with the weird, like, ninja graffiti thing on the doorway, and just, like, use Symmetra's teleporter to go across into the second part of the ditch, and then bam, they now have to rotate round to catch you. So you can go up and fight them while they're rotating, or you can just try and, like, get to the point first and then fight them as they come in to fight you, right? That's way easier than, like, pushing through that choke point on Paris. It's a fucking nightmare. But, like, yeah, you know, as D.Va specifically, there's not a lot you can do versus that kind of comp. Other than that, I mean, you can try and build up self-destruct and then use that to try and get something done, but I mean, it's going to be hard to build self-destruct, and it's just going to make them move a little bit. So it's not going to be super effective at the same time either, so try and get, like, a Sombra on your team. Sombra's really good at countering bunkers, because you can build up Emp, and then Emp the enemy team, and just hack the Bastion, easy peasy. You can get other people that punish people for being close together, so Junkrat, Hanzo if he can build his ultimate, Farah, all of these people like when enemies are, like, clustered together so they can get a lot of value out of their splash damage. You can try and pick, like, Roadhog and Ana, because if they can find a way past the shield and, like, hook the Bastion or the Junkrat, hey, that's basically it. You've removed the whole issue from the comp at that point. Or you can, like, get the anti-heal in there, get the sleep dart in there, hook them out, that's all good stuff. It's just very hard to do anything against the bunker comps as a singular entity in any game, because, like, the enemy team is using teamwork, and it's very hard to counter teamwork as a single person, because they're using teamwork, so that means you by yourself are always going to be fighting like 2 or 3 people at least, right? It's very hard to do anything in that situation. The best you can do a lot of the time is just pick a different hero. Just pick one of the heroes that can, like, try and counter the comp a little better. Next up was, how do you counter strafing? And the post was a little ambiguous as to what they meant. I assume they meant spamming A and D back and forth, but they also might have just meant literally going one direction. Like, they might have literally just meant strafing in a straight line. It was a little ambiguous as to what exactly they meant. But we'll assume it's the AD spamming first. For that, I like to just, like, and this what they specifically said as 76 Tracer and Zarya, but I mean, personally, I like to just hold the cursor, like, in the middle of where they're spamming, because usually people don't spam, like, they usually overspam, so they don't really move all that much. So if you're aiming for, like, a headshot, it gets harder, but I mean, if you just aim for, like, center of mass in between the 2 points they're spamming, you'll probably hit the most shots. Otherwise, real talk, pick your mouse up and just go, woo, 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 just like spin around on like roughly where they're spamming. And like, because if they're really randomly spamming, just kind of like spazzing out in the general area they're spamming in is going to result in a fair amount of them getting hit, which is the idea, right? So that's what I like to do for that. And I mean, if it's literally just like them moving in a direction, just like aim for their feet, because you might think the center of mass is the best part. Because of the way the animations go when they're running, the feet, or the legs rather, tend to actually be a slightly larger hitbox, just because of the way that the 2 feet are overlapped. And like, if you're playing like Zarya or 76, you don't actually have to get a straight shot. You can just aim the helix rocket or the right click at their feet. It's really easy to hit the ground near the guy, and then hey, you've done the job. You can also, I mean, you know, the easy answer is just aim better also, but if it's just like them strafing in one line as well, like, you can use your own movement as well to kind of aim, because if you have your cursor over them and you just move the same direction they go, hey, you're hitting them the whole time pretty much. So you can try that as well, but I assume it meant AD spamming, but it was a little ambiguous, so hold in the center of where they're spamming, or just spam around in the area. It's easier to do that one if you've got an automatic weapon, so if you're Soldier, Tracer, you know, Zarya, it's really easy to do that kind of thing on them, because you've got, like, a really fast-firing weapon. Next up was best heroes to carry at hard carry at low SR, and I always think people approach this the wrong way, because they always say DPS heroes, right? They always say, oh yeah, Widow, McCree, Genji, Tracer. The thing is, if you're in low SR, you're probably not good enough to hard carry as those heroes, because those heroes require a fair amount of execution, right? I can't hard carry low SRs as those heroes. I'm not good enough execution-wise to do that. The way I approach it is always, you're looking for heroes that have big impacts, that are very easy to play. And ideally, the enemy team won't react appropriately. So I always say Winston's a really good one, and D.Va are really good ones, because they're very easy to play, they're very good at punishing people for making mistakes. D.Va in particular, you can just burst someone to death really quickly if you get on them, so she's good for that. Winston's good for that, and they won't react appropriately to you in low SR either. They're gonna panic, they're gonna freak out, and like their teammates aren't gonna help them. So you can if you can just like get to a guy, you'll probably kill them most of the time. So they're really good ones. DPS-wise, similar thing, we're looking for high impact, easy to play. I think Soldier's a really good one, because he's very independent, doesn't require healers really, can just like move around pretty freely. If somebody dives on you, like anybody pretty much, like Winston, Genji, D.Va, you just put the biotic field down and fight them by yourself. You don't require any help, so he's a very independent hero. His ultimate's really good if people are doing dumb shit and not positioning properly, and hey, guess what's happening in low SR? A lot of that. Should have done the grounded one, that does more damage. Oh, you scrubbed past me. So he's a really good one. Reaper's a really good one. Very independent, self-healing. People won't react appropriately. They'll panic. You can a lot of time just hold W, mouse 1, go straight through the entire enemy team, and they won't react appropriately to kill you. Ultimate, really good at punishing people if they don't, or punishing whole teams if they don't react to you appropriately. Reaper's a good one. And supports, Moira, and, Moira's the really good one, Bridget's the really good one. If you can play Anna, Anna's a good one, but Anna's hard to play, so that's another one, you know, but Anna's, like, good. Moira, really big impact, a lot of healing. You can keep people alive when they have no right to currently be alive, which is also really good in low SR, because people are doing dumb shit, and the enemy team are not going to be that good at actually doing damage. So you'll be able to keep people alive in situations where they really just have no right whatsoever to be alive as Moira. And you can do damage yourself, which is nice. You can actually, like, help kill people, because God knows your team is not going to kill people properly, right? So she's a good one. Bridget's good as well, because she outputs more healing than you might think, but mostly she's also just really good at punishing people for doing dumb shit. There's a theme here, isn't there, with the heroes that I go with. She's very good at punishing dumb shit. You can, like, DPS doing some dumb shit, kill that guy. Tank doing some dumb shit, kill that guy. No problem. Even if it's like a Roadhog. Roadhogs are a good one for low SR as well. Pretty easy to play, big impact. Probably don't need to elucidate too much on, Roadhog. But like, if the tank's doing dumb shit, you can punish them as Bridget, no problem. Roadhog is actually like one of the easiest people to solo in the whole game as Bridget. This came up in like the stream earlier today. They're like, well, how can Bridget do that? Because like, you can interrupt the heal, but won't he just shoot you? And like, Roadhog's gun is not that good unless he hooks you. So if the Roadhog's really good, yeah, he can shoot you, but like Roadhog is probably not gonna one-shot you unless he's damage boosted or you're discorded. So if you're playing Bridget, like, you just hit the guy. If he hits you, you hold your shield up for a little bit, you regenerate behind the shield, and then you resume smacking him. You interrupt the heal, and then easy peasy. It'll take you a long time to kill the guy, because he's got a lot of health, but, like, there's no way he'll ever kill you by himself, unless he's, like, literally Jeff Kaplan. There's no way. It just doesn't happen. So, Bridget's really good. She can fight pretty much anybody in the game. The only exceptions are, like, you know, Pharah, pretty much. Like, the only people she can't really fight. May's a pain. You can fight May still, though. So, Bridget's good at punishing people for doing dumb shit. Armor Pack as well. You can keep people alive when they don't have any right to be alive. But mostly the punishing people for doing dumb shit. So they're the really good ones for me. Because people, man, they always say the hard-to-play heroes. Like, if you can't play the hard-to-play heroes, it's not gonna work. And if you're in low SR, like, there's probably a reason for that, right? Like, there's a reason you're in low SR. You probably can't hard carry properly, right? And especially not on the high mechanical execution heroes. So the easy ones are better to go with. Next up was, how do you bait / block Earthshatter as Reinhardt? And baiting is, I mean, it depends on the guy you're playing against a lot of the time. Personally, I like to try and feign that I'm worse at the game than I am, if that makes any sense, where I'll basically try and make it look like I'm just gonna start running at you swinging, right? I'll take the shield down, hold left click and walk forward, and then like just like hold shield up when I think he's gonna use Earthshatter. You can go with the classic, just like walk up to him, start swinging, immediately put shield back up again. Try for that one. Those are like, you haven't got many options in terms of baiting it, really. Personally, like, I'll just let the guy hang himself, pretty much. That's how I like to approach things, pretty much. Because the guy, as soon as he's got Earthshatter, like, he's looking to use it, right? And most Reinhardt players play way too fucking aggressive. By comparison, I play quite conservatively. So, like, if I just stand looking at him, holding my shield up, sooner or later the guy's gonna fuck it up. Like, sooner or later he's gonna be like, alright, Earth Shatter now! And then I'm gonna just still be playing passively and hold my shield up. Like, that's pretty much it. I won't go aggressive when I think he has Earth Shatter, unless I know he's in no position to land a good Earth Shatter. Which, you know, there can be a lot that goes into that one, but pretty much, if my team's really spread out, I can see that, like, his team's losing the fight, so even if he Earth Shatters right now, unless it's literally all 6 people, that was really cheesy, unless it's literally all 6 people, they still lose the fight, then it doesn't matter so much, but if he's got his Earth Shatter, I'm gonna play passive until he doesn't have Earth Shatter anymore, and then just not give him the opportunity to land Earth Shatter, and I'm gonna wait to land my Earth Shatter against him, pretty much. I'm confident I'll find an opportunity before he finds an opportunity, because I'm not gonna go aggro. And that's pretty much what I do, like, baiting it, like, those are pretty much your big options. You know, you can try, like, shield hopping towards him a little bit and then suddenly stop. That might work. You can feign that you're gonna retreat and then, like, start walking backwards behind your team, then step forward and hold your shield up. If you're really brave, you can go for a, turn around and then turn back around, real quick play. That one can backfire pretty easy, because if you don't turn fast enough, you get fucked. And I mean, that's also true of everything. You might have noticed at this point, I'm like, he just can't kill me really fast at this point. Oh, I'm just gonna set maxed range from this guy. Like, you gotta come to me, my man, if you want to win this game. Classic. It's really hard to win in this game by timeout. You have so much time. So you can try, like, the spin around, like, that's it, you can try, like, those are your options for baiting, really. Like, the game doesn't have that many points of articulation, like, those are pretty much your choices. It's easier to bait if something else happens at the same time, like, if, you get nano boosted, they are ready to Earth Shatter you at a moment's notice, and they're going to expect you to go ham, because you've been nano boosted. So if you go for the swing and then immediately put your shield up after you've been nano boosted, that'll work 9 times out of 10, because they're expecting you to go ham, because you just got nano boosted. And then you can just easily counter shatter at that point after he's committed, so that's easier if, like, something like that's happened. But those are pretty much your options for baiting. I just like to play passive, because I don't want to risk it, pretty much, if he's got Earth Shatter. Like, I know the cost, the price of getting Earth Shattered, like, not blocking the Earth Shatter, is really high. So I just play passive. That's what I do. Next up is Zenyatta still good? And he's not I hate that shit right there. Oh my god. Zamasu has become, like, one of the worst characters in the game, I swear to god. Because he's got a block string where, like, if he just delays a little bit, oh, it's a grab suddenly, and if you pushed any buttons, like, if you didn't push the right buttons, you got hit by the fucking balls over my head instead, and then I still combo you. Some really nasty stuff you can do in this game, and I'm just very mad about it, okay? Leave me alone. I got a Cell game I gotta show you, if I can find the right one. Or anyone with Cell in it, to be honest. What was I saying? Yeah, so Zenyatta's still good. He's not as good as he was, mostly just because people are playing, like, more aggressive heroes, which is not great for Zen. I'm noticing less reliance on, like, Graviton, lately, which makes Zen, like, Transcendence less good. Ana is more popular. Like, once Ana got more popular again, that was always gonna have a negative impact on Zenyatta, because having Bio Grenade, really fucks up Transcendence. So, as soon as Ana got more popular, like, Zen was gonna drop off a little bit, but I do find that he's not as good as he was before, but I mean, he's still good, like, especially against comps that are reliant on certain ultimates, like Dragon Blade, Graviton, Earth Shatter, any comp like that. Zenyatta's always going to be good against that. Discord's still really good. Like, it's still a really good ability. Makes it people so much easier to kill. Zen still has really good synergy with flank. Like, he still has, like, the best synergy with flankers out of all of the supports in the game, because, I mean, Harmony Orb is really good, and so is Discord Orb, so... He saw what I did, he was like, yeah, let's try that one. Like, he's still really good with flankers, he's still really good against certain comps, and, like, if your team just needs more damage, Zenyatta's always gonna be a good addition, because he adds a lot more damage to your team, so... Zen's always going to be good for certain situations, but he is less good than he was previously, where I for a while in there, I think Zen was hands down, like, must-have on a team comp if you're going to win, pretty much, right? Not that long ago, but he has fallen off since then. There's definitely no reason you can't play him, if you like Zen, and, like, if you're good at Zen, like, you know, click those heads real good. I am also finding that now there are a lot of situations where I'm just like, man, Batista's just gonna probably be the better pick than a fair few off-healers. Dude, chill. my dude. Oh, Yamcha players, they love that one. I just keep doing it. It's gotta work sooner or later, right? One of them's gotta land. See? If you do it enough times, one of them's gotta land. Yeah, like, Batista's really good as well. Like, this is the thing as well, is that Batista's made him a little less good, because, Zen needs his ultimate to stop people from dying. Batista only needs the immortality field, right? So, there's now some overlap between the two of them, and, like, Batista has the added benefit of, like, you know, it's not gonna keep you alive at max health, which is something Zen has, but, like, it's gonna save you from ultimates that Zen can't save you from, right? Like, it works against the Tire, it works against self-destruct, it still works against ults like Dragon Blade and Graviton, but they can break it, so there's counterplay there, obviously, so there's now some overlap between him and Batista as well, so that's also a little bit unfortunate for Zen. Even in regards to making your team do more damage, the amplification matrix is nasty as fuck, isn't it? Like, amplification matrix is gross in terms of how much damage it makes your team do. Especially if you got a Reinhardt on your team, right? Everybody likes getting one shot by Fire Strike from full health. Doesn't that one feel good? So, it is a little unfortunate for Zen, but I don't think that... He's definitely not unplayably bad, but he does take a little bit more work. It's definitely one of these. Like, there was one of these games that was, like, really, like, peak Cell is obnoxious as fuck, and he's got Zamasu, so it's even better. I hate Cell so much. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate Cell, I hate Adult Gohan, and I fully acknowledge it's because I'm bad and don't know how to play defensively against them, but, like, I hate them so much. Jesus Christ. This guy, by the way, like, it's amazing, like, if I don't get absolutely clapped in these games, I considered them a victory, because this guy had literally double my points on the ladder, right? Like, I'm at, like, 1 million, this guy's at 2 million, literally double me. Little over double, actually, at the time, so... If I didn't just get, like, perfected, I was happy, to be honest. So yeah, that's that question, pretty much. Next up is Sombra worth learning? And, you know, it depends how much you like Sombra. The thing is with Sombra is that she's very, very hard to play. I think Sombra is by far the hardest character in the game to play. Because she's got a mechanical requirement, and she's got a heavy, like, game sense requirement at the same time, right? She's got two things going for her. Because people always say Widowmaker's the hardest hero in the game, or something to that effect. Like, yeah, she's hard to play mechanically, but, like, Sombra is hard to play mechanically, and also requires more game sense than Widowmaker does. So she's, like, double dipping on reasons she's difficult. Hey, Sombra is really good if you know how to play. Like, if you're really good at Sombra, you are, like, the best character in the entire game, right? Like, there's a very heavy difference between Sombra. A good Sombra, it feels like there's literally nothing you can do, right? It's the most overpowering feeling in the entire world. But a bad Sombra is complete dead weight. There's absolutely nothing going for her if she's bad, right? So, if you like Sombra, any hero, right? It doesn't matter how good they are, it doesn't matter who they are. If you like the hero, I strongly advocate you learn how to play the hero if you want to play that hero. Like, this is why I hate Cell. Just, like, sat in the corner, like, oh god, please stop. Please stop. And he just doesn't stop. The man can hold you in the corner for minutes at a time. That's an exaggeration, but he can hold you there for 3,000 years, pretty much. Like, it's nasty. I hate Cell. Oh, Gohan's the same way. Block this shit for 10 minutes. God damn. Anyway, so any hero, if you like that hero, learn to play that hero. If you want to play that hero, you play that hero. Doesn't matter who it is. You love Torbjorn? You fucking go play Torbjorn. You go master that fucking fire dwarf, my man. You do you. Whatever you want, man. It's a video game. We're here to have fun. Oh god, I missed Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so painful to see yourself miss something multiple times in a row. Oh god, 3 times in a row. Jeez. Oh, please do it this time. Okay, you went for the easier one. Fair enough. Oh god. I was afraid I was gonna miss the same combo 4 times in a row. It's not hard to do either. That's the worst part. So yeah, any hero. If you want to play him, you go play him. I don't care. It's a video game. We're meant to have fun. Sombra is really good, though. Like, if you can get good at Sombra, you'll get, like, huge rewards off that. Especially, like, so many, like, every week or so, there's, like, multiple questions I find that are, like, based around some variant of how do I beat a bunker comp. And the easiest answer is always Sombra. Because Sombra, you emp the bunker, you hack the bastion, and then what do you know, right? Like, the situation's been dealt with. Pretty much. So Sombra is really good if you can get good at her. That's the difficult thing though, right? Like getting good at Sombra, because she is very hard to play. So short answer, yes, but like it really depends on like, you have to be also like, Sombra's one of those heroes where you have to have a pretty strong mental fortitude, right? Like you've gotta be ready for people to talk shit at you a lot, right? Like, if you're gonna play Widowmaker, right? You've gotta be ready for people to talk shit about you for a long time. Like, even when you get good at the hero, right? Like, they're gonna talk a lot of shit on you while you're bad at the hero. But, like, even when you are good at the hero, if anything starts going wrong, you're gonna be the one that gets blamed for it. It's gonna be your fault that you lost that game, right? Or that you're losing the game right now. If you lose an objective, somebody's gonna go, we don't need a Sombra, we don't need a Widowmaker, right? You know, while they're playing Genji or some shit, so against, like, goats, so, you know, it's always real good like that, but yeah. So you've got to have a strong mental fortitude. You got to be ready to be bad for a while, and, like, possibly a really long time. And you've got to be ready for people to talk unending amounts of shit on you at the same time as well. So learning to play Sombra is very unpleasant. But hey, if you can do it, you'll get pretty high rewards off of it. And now next, and this is the last question as well for this week, is why is Ana considered the best support in the game? And I took some screenshots of the post and the thread about this one because I think it really shows you the kind of person that's asking the questions. But suffice to say, they were asking, you know, you can read the screenshots I'll put up, but the short version is Ana doesn't have as good stats on overbuff as Moira does. Please explain. Also, Moira outputs more healing than Ana. Please explain. Why is Ana better than Moira? The thing is that the stats can always lie to you. It's like how, you know, nobody's out here saying Symmetra's the best hero in the game, or Torbjorn's the best hero in the game, but, like, pretty much since release, if you've looked at their win rates on these sites, they've always been some of the highest, if not the highest. And the reason is, like, they don't get picked as much, right? So, you know, like, you pick Symmetra, you're probably either really good at Symmetra, or you're picking Symmetra in a specific circumstance, attacking Paris, right? So, there's that. There's the fact that, like, the stats can just lie to you like this. Because if they're picking Moira, like, people will pick Ana a lot more frequently than they'll pick Moira. Because Ana is the best hero in the game, right, pretty much. So people will pick Ana more than Moira. So if they're picking Moira, they're more likely to be someone who is good at Moira, i.e. me. That's the reason I pick Moira. I'm better at Moira than I am at Ana. So I'll pick Moira over Ana. Or they're picking Moira for a specific reason. They're running goats against, like, a DPS-heavy comp, right? So there's that. But there's also the fact Ana's harder to play than Moira. We haven't actually gotten to the answering the question yet, but I'm explaining why the stats can be a little bit misleading at times, right? There's also the fact Moira's way easier to play than Ana is. So just, like, more, like, the people that pick Ana, they have to work less hard to get, like, good results, and she just does more healing than Ana does, right? Like Moira is also not as counterable as, like, Ana is. Like, if you're, like, playing Ana versus, like, a dive-heavy comp, there's a good chance you're gonna get clapped unless you're good at Ana. Whereas Moira, in that kind of circumstance, you're not under anywhere near as much threat, right? So these are reasons the stats can kind of look deceiving, and that, like, Ana's win rate wasn't even a big difference. Like, Ana's win rate is slightly lower than Moira's. It was much more different, much more different on PSM, where the difference was something like 3%, 4%, something like that. I can't see it in front of me right now, but it was bigger than the PC difference. And Ana is way harder to play on on controller than on PC, right? So, like, that's why the win rate's way different on console. Ana is harder to play because she's an aim-intense hero, so on console, she's gonna have a harder time than Moira, who has close to no aim requirements. So that's why the stats can, like, look a little odd like that, and she does just do more healing than Ana, right? Like, that's just what Moira does. So why is Ana considered the best support in the game? It's because of the utility she brings, right? Like, Sleep Dart and Anti-Heal are huge abilities. They can just win you a team fight single-handedly. You know, which is what one of the people who responded to the thread said, because I was curious what other people said, and, I liked that, how the OP respond. Shut the fuck up, Zamasu. I like how the OP responded and got downvoted like 13 times or something. It's like, well, you know, not to be pedantic, but here comes massive pedantic response, you know. I'm not racist, but, you know, maybe I'm just being pedantic, but, yeah, okay, OP. So, yeah, like, it's her utility. Like, she also, like, she has the most agency in the game, especially, like, over all of the supports, right? I don't think that's what he wanted to do. Over all the supports in the game, Ana's got by far the most agency over the game because of the abilities that she has, right? They're very strong abilities. Whereas someone like Mercy, she just has less points of interaction with the game than Ana does, right? Because Ana, she can get a really good grenade, she can get a really good sleep dart, she can nano boost somebody, make them a lot stronger, she can heal people, she can, like, output more healing, and she can kill people as well, right? Like, there's a Pharah over there bullying your team, not much Mercy can do about that. Ana, however, can kill the Pharah. She can show her daughter how it's done. So Ana just has more points of interaction with the game than other supports do. Because, like, if you just think about the ways that Ana has got to win a team fight, right? She got all of those things we just listed, and then Mercy's got heal someone, damage boost someone, res someone, very hard to do a lot of the time, and I guess pistol someone, but right, then you're giving up on like what Mercy's good at, right, which is the damage boost pretty much. So like, you just compare the ways that she's got to interact with a team fight. She's got so many more ways to do so than a lot of the other supports do. So there's that. This is why Batista, I also think, is shaping up to be good, but Batista's hard to play. So there's that. He's got a lot of points of interaction with the fight, and all of his abilities are quite good still, right? The thing is he's hard to play, and I think he feels clunky to use also, after having played around with him a little bit more. But that's why Ana's so good. It's the utility she brings. And this is why specifically she's better than Moira, right? Moira has no utility, right? Moira's got 0 utility. Ana's got really good utility. Sleep Dart, Bio Grenade, Nano Boost. Really good utility. Moira has no utility. Moira has 0 utility abilities. The only utility she's got is self-peel, right? But Ana's got that as well, right? Like, that Bio Grenade and Sleep Dart are self-peel as well. So that's the only utility Moira's got. So that's the thing. Moira has no utility. That's the main difference here, between the two heroes. But, like, that's why Ana's the best support in the game. Her utility is second to none. She's got, out of all heroes in the game, probably the most utility attached to her. A little bit debatable. There are some heroes that have got big utility attached to them. Batista, Sombra, big utility. But Ana, certainly up there. The thing is just that Ana's hard to play, right? Like, I remember a point in time when, like, 1,000 years ago, there was a point in time, like, not long after Ana came out, like, when she was, like, peak overpowered, right? Because there was definitely a point where Ana was peak overpowered. He loves that one. He loves to do the level 3, like, right in the middle of the blocks, like, the gap in a block string. He loves that one. This is the fighting games. You gotta learn you gotta recognize what the other person does. This guy's got, like, tendencies that I just didn't punish properly, other than the level 3 one. He was a big fan of that. What was that part worth saying? Really strong utility. Yeah, pretty much that. I think I was partway through making a point and then got distracted by something else. It couldn't have been that important, I suppose. Could have. But, oh, no. Okay, I remember. Yeah. So there was a point, like, right when Ana was, peak overpowered, where I would look at the amount of VODs I had, to get through. Because there was a point in time where I was, like, backlogged by, like, 3 weeks. And there was, no joke, there was more Ana VODs than every other hero combined that I had saved up, right? So I was like, you know, we're talking, like, over a span of, like, 3 weeks, so a video a day over 3 weeks, right? So, like, we're talking, like, 14 of those videos were Ana, right? So it got really difficult to space those out to not have Ana be back-to-back constantly. But I think that shows you, like, how much more difficult Ana is than the other supports, right? Like, people are always asking for advice on how to play Ana. You see very few people asking for advice on how to play Mercy, and it's always, like, the same thing, right? It's like, how do I stay alive? How do I carry as Mercy? You don't. Stuff like that, right? Like, Ana, people are always asking, like, a ton of different shit for Ana, because she's hard to play. But that's why Ana's the best support in the game. Utility, really overpowered. And that is usually true across most games. Like, the amount of utility that you have is always, very important, like, across all games. MOBAs, utility heroes are always strong. Big, like, utility teamfight ultimates are always very good. Yeah, even, you know, in this game we're talking about the same thing, right? Like, utility ultimates, Graviton, very weak by itself, but utility attached to it, very huge, right? So it's true against all games. Fighting games, utility is really good, because, like, that guy's playing Yamcha as his anchor. Yamcha by himself, like, Yamcha as a character is, like, pretty low tier, right? If we're talking about him as a character. He's very low damage, he's very weak mix-ups, he's not great as a character, but his assist is one of the best in the game. So people will run him just because his assist is so good. Like, his assist is incredible. Especially for the kind of people that, like, want, like, what his assist is, like, specifically good for would be, like, a little bit laborious to explain in detail, but, like, the people who really want to play with Yamcha's assist, they, like, want a very specific thing from an assist, Yamcha's the best thing they can get by far. So Yamcha ends up being, like, pretty top tier purely because of the utility attached to his assist. There are other ones like that as well. Marvel vs. Capcom. God, what's the guy's name? Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I can't think of his name off. There's a guy in that was like, always gives, like, if you were in a position where you got down to just him, you probably lost, but he was so good as an assist, you took him anyway, and you just hoped that you didn't have to play with him by himself, pretty much. So utility is always extremely strong in all games. So, you know, any character that's got a lot of utility attached to them is pretty much destined to be, like, a good character, pretty much. Because utility's always just king, like that. So yeah, that's the answer. Utility. Really good. So now we're just gonna wait for this game to end. Spoiler, you know, it's not looking good for me, right? It's not, theoretically it's looking good for me. I got the life lead, I got more meter than him, but, like, nah. This guy is, like, way better than me. Like I said, this guy had literally double my points, so I was just glad whenever it wasn't a complete stomp. There were a lot of games that were just complete one-sided stomps. There was no point, like, saving the replay, because it was literally just me sitting in the corner for the whole round getting, blocking until I didn't block, and then I lost a character. So any of the games that wasn't just, like, complete stomp, I was like, rousing success. Didn't get wrecked by the guy that has double my points. So, fantastic. Great job, self. So, there you go. That's all we got for this week. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. Start streaming on Twitch, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 7 p.m. EST till 10 or 11 EST. Usually, almost always 11. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's always 11. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you manage to make it all this way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.